Hello. What time is it? It's 19 and 10. Yeah. Good night. Yeah, I'm going to call it good night. My name is Arya Wira dari from uh, Sepuluh PS3. I want to tell you a story about Sigurd and the Dragon. Well, here we go. Big things are expected of Prince Sigurd. Yeah, his father passed away. Yeah, before he was born, but left him uh, the pieces of a hero's sword. His mother believed that he will grow up into one of the greatest heroes of all of times. That's called it pressure. Yeah. His first quest is set by his tutor. He has to kill a dragon. Yeah. Prince Sigurd is a Norse hero that Richard Wagner took up as Siegfried. Yes, I guess they call it Siegfried. Yeah. In his opera of the same name, read by Elizabeth, written for Story Nori by Charlotte Sibek Montefiore, Sigurd was the son of a king that's good start in a life. But before he was even born, his father was killed in a war. That was not so good. The night after the dreadful battle, the king's wife crept over the field where the poor soldiers lay. By the moonlight, she collected the shattered pieces of the king's old sword that and then she kept it then safely, the broken hero sword that has been shattered, and he kept it safely. And you see, it was a magic sword, and the king had told her that uh, it would belong to their son. So the father give, like, it's just like the father give his son uh, the hero sword. Yeah. And and that he would grow up into one of the greatest heroes of all of time. Sigurd's mother went to live with another king. Oh, and I think she married him. The- this new king looked after her and her son very well, but life was not easy for young Sigurd. Yeah, it's not easy. Life is hard. He knew that his mother expect a lot of him. It is one thing to have a go, yeah, at being a hero. One quite another when everyone is waiting for you to grow up in for you to grow up into the greatest hero who ever lived. That's called pressure. Yeah. But he did mature into a fine young man. At least he looked pretty good. I guess handsome. Yeah, more like handsome person. Yeah, handsome prince. All the girls thought he could play the part. He had a special tutor called Rain. In here it's called Regin, but I guess they call it Rain. Yeah, I'm going to call it Rain. Whose job it was to see that he know how to behave as a true prince. Yeah. One day, one day he suggests that it was a time for Sigurd to go to the king and ask for his own horse. Like, hey, you need a new horse, like that. It's time for you to get a horse, like that. And that it was he did. And the king told him to choose any horse he liked from the stables. Yeah. On the way across the country courtyard, Sigurd met an old man. Uh, met an old man, like he met an old man who was sitting in courtyard. And where are you going? Said the old man. And are you about to choose a horse? In fact, this old fellow was Odin. He's Odin, ruler of the gods, who knew everything. Would you like my advice? He asked that. Then Sigurd looked at him. He didn't seem like the sort person who knew about horses, but he had known what Sigurd was about to do, and maybe thought Sigurd to himself, just maybe I thought to listen what he has to say, said Sigurd like that. It was a wise decision that listen to advice and then take it or leave it. The old man told Sigurd to drive all the horses to a river and to choose. Oh, Astaghfirullahaladzim. Get back to the topic, yeah. Uh, Horses to river and to choose the one that swam across, like this one is river, yeah, and then there's a horse come, blah, 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 like that, I guess. And what is it again? It sounds like a good plan, yeah, and that is what he did. The horse that swam across the icy river was a beautiful gray mare, yeah, young but not too young, with a tail and mane that flowed with the wind. When she galloped, Sigurd stretched out his hand, flat with a carrot, yeah, and the horse whinnied to a stop and took it. This is my girl, yeah, that's my girl, like that, said Sigurd, like walked the horse back and saddled it up. Good choice, said the old man. This animal is noble stock. It is descended from Odin's horse and will serve you well. Like he, she's going to be loyal for you. Yeah, she's going to be loyal to you like that. When and then Sigurd thanked him and went back into the palace. At dinner, he sat next to his old teacher Rain. Now you've got a horse, said Rain. Why don't you go and get some treasures? Well, said Sigurd, can it be as easy as that? The only treasure I know about is guarded by the dragon Fafnir. Fafnir. And as you know, all dragons are terrible. Yeah, they all looks terrible and bad. But this one is more terrible than the most. I guess the one looks really bad. Are you coward? Said Rain. No, said the boy. Not for the first time he began to suspect that his tutor was a little bit sly. He narrowed his eye and asked, why are you so keen for me to kill this dragon? Rain told Sigurd some of the truth about the dragon Fafnir. The dragon had once been a human and was in fact Rain's own brother. There had been 3 brothers. Rain was the eldest. Next was young man who swam and looked like the other. I mean, looked like an otter. The otter. And the youngest was Fafnir now. The other, like middle brother, had been murdered, which angered by the father so much that he demanded the blood price. A lot of gold he got it, but the murderer had stolen the gold from a dwarf who surprised, and got very angry. A curse on you, he said to the murderer. A curse on you forever. And what's more, this gold will bring a bad luck to whoever has it. So it was the family that now cursed. Fafnir killed his own father. Very bad thing. And he killed it for only a gold. Yeah. And no risk he worried how to protect his newfound wealth, and so he became a dragon to guard it. Rain had loved his father and also loved gold. Yeah, so greedy, I guess. And so wanted vengeance. That's why he said to Sigurd. He said to Sigurd, yeah, like that's why he said to Sigurd like that. Yeah, I mean like that. And then That's why I want you to kill Fafnir. I'll help you too. You know me as a tutor, but I was a great smith and have not lost my skills. I will make you a great sword to kill the dragon with. Will make me a sword and I will slay your brother dragon, yeah. Promise Sigurd, who was right now rising to the challenge. Rain made a beautiful sword. It was straight and strong and gleamed in the sun. Sigurd tried it out on a stone, like he tried to slay it on a stone, and then it smashed, like it's destroyed into pieces. And then I'm afraid that's not a good to me, like he said. And so Rain made him another sword fit for a prince. Sigurd soon broke that one too. Everyone at court was talking about how Sigurd had broken two swords, as if they were twigs of a tree. And soon his mother heard about it too. The time had come to give her the son, to give her son the broken pieces of his father's blade. Rain made this into a great new sword. Sigurd clashed this blade into a lump of iron, and it did not break. It not break, but split the iron into two, like a lightsaber. Yeah, it's very strong. A few days later, Sigurd rode out with Rain to the heath where the dragon had been seen. It was a bleak and blasted spot. Sigurd looked down and saw a ravine. Definitely not a green, unpleasant valley along to the bottom. There was a strange white trail which even from the distance looks like slime. There, said Rain. See that? It's slime from the dragon, like a snail trail. That's the way he goes to drink. There's a lake at the bottom. Sigurd saw that the trail was very broad, and the weight of the dragon had made a huge indent in the ground. The dragon must be huge, she said like that. And yes, said Rain like that. And see that thing? Does look like a caravan. That's the dragon's dung. Wow, said Sigurd. He is surprised. There was nothing else to say, and he automatically gripped his sword tighter. When you go down, said, be careful to stand at the side. If you go in front of Fafnir, you will be poisoned by his breath. I guess his Fafnir smells really bad from his mouth. Yeah. And if you go behind him, he'll knock you over with his tail. And then, I don't know, said Sigurd. He'll eat me. And he began to clamber down into the valley. His idea was to ambush the dragon. He liked to push it, I guess. To dig a pit with his sword, and then climb in and hide. When the reptile slithered across the pit, he would drive his sword into a dragon's heart from underneath. It was a brave plan, yeah, I guess. Yeah, it was a very brave plan. Unexpected, I guess. If the dragon's forelegs fell into the pit, his head would go in. That would be the end of Sigurd. If his hind legs went in, his great feet would claw Sigurd to death or squash him. Either of these things might happen, but Sigurd was brave. He dug the pit as he thought best, climbed down into it, and tried to camouflage over it. He hoped the dragon would not smell it. So Sigurd had never been so frightened as when he sat in the dark dugout, listening to the dragons getting closer and closer. His heart pounded in his chest, and beds of sweat broke out across his forehead. Then the dragon's wheezing lungs drew nearer and nearer, and the dragon arrived over the pit. Without a second to lose, Sigurd thrust his sword straight up into the camouflage, and it cut directly into the dragon's heart. Fafnir lashed with his tail till stone and broke Andres crashed about him. Then he croaked and said, "Wherever you are, my God will bring you death." Sigurd said, "I will die." Fafnir, but now it is you that you must die. That. And he thrust the sword some more, and Fafnir died. Yeah, I guess he died very bad. It was very hard for him to climb out of the pit and offer the terrible dead dragon. But Sigurd told him, he told himself that the dragon was more terrible when he was alive. Rain came down to meet him and asked him to roast Fafnir. Hearts, he told him and asked him to roast Fafnir's heart for him. Sigurd didn't much like the idea, but he always obligated people if he could. He always obligate people if he could. So while Rain built a little fire, he cut out Fafnir's heart. He had to touch the disgusting bit of meat. I guess that they are going to eat Odin's brother, I guess. And while he was putting it into the grill, he burned his finger. So he licked it. Now sticky with the residue of the dragon's heart, and to his amazement, he was suddenly able to hear what the birds round about were saying. One bird said, "There is Sigurd roasting Fafnir's heart," for another, when he should eat it himself and learn all wisdom. Another bird sighed, "There lies Rain, ready to betray Sigurd who trusts him." A third bird said, "Let him cut off Rain's head and keep all the gold to himself." When Sigurd heard the bird's truth, and understood that he was about to betray him. After all he had done for Rain in a passionate rage, he took out his sword once more and cut off his tutor's head. Damn, that was a massacre. Like, oh, his head. God. Then he heard a fourth bird sing, "Sigurd kills a dragon, a hero and a man. Now he ought to find a bride, Brynhild, if he can." And that's how Sigurd got the idea of going to look for Brynhild. But that is another story. So I guess it's done now. Thank you for your phone, and that's a very long story. I guess I hope you understand what I'm saying for the whole story. I hope you understand. So thank you for listening to my story. My job is done now. Thank you.